Hello, and welcome back to Around the Boxes. It has been a while, but I'm back. You're probably wondering where I've been. And basically, if you saw my last video, it's been over almost a month since my last video on the channel. No, I didn't disappear. No, I didn't just stop making videos. If you saw my last video, which was the last episode of Around the Boxes, I mentioned that I had COVID. And basically where I've been is it's taken me a lot longer to recover than I thought it would. I had COVID beginning of the year. January 1st started having symptoms, started 2022 off with a bang. And I was like sick with COVID for about a week. But after I recovered from COVID, even after I was testing negative, I kept having respiratory issues, kind of breathing difficulties, chest pain, cough, typical symptoms of COVID that last beyond when you're actually COVID positive. So it's been a rough month, not gonna lie. I mean, I was never near death. I'm fine. Just haven't been feeling well, and that kind of put me out of commission for basically a month. Because it was kind of hard to talk. I had to clear my throat a lot and cough a lot, and so I just couldn't exactly record podcasts or make videos. Because I just wanted to rest and recover. So that's where I've been. That's why we haven't had any Webheads episodes. That's why we haven't had any Around the Boxes. It's been a while. Still not 100% recovered. Still have some chest pain here. So if you see me kind of going like this a lot, that's why. If I have to clear my throat or take a big gasp of air, that's why. But basically, I've seen some improvement. I've started to get better. And this was the week where I kind of decided I needed to get back to some semblance of normalcy. So I wanted to hop on here, do another Around the Boxes. Webheads will be coming back very soon. I'm going back to work this week. I haven't worked in over a month because I've just been out sick. So yeah, it's been not great. COVID is not fun. You do not want COVID. So this is definitely kind of, I was already taking COVID seriously. I did everything. I wore the mask and everything like that. But I had gotten to a point where because I was vaccinated, I had stopped wearing a mask. But having COVID will kind of scare you straight, so I'm gonna continue to be careful, and I encourage everyone to be careful as well, because COVID was not a fun time. So, but I'm glad to be back. I have some awesome comic books. This is gonna be a great episode of Around the Boxes. We're coming back with a banger. In case you didn't see by the title and the thumbnail, I have not one, not two, but 3 CGC Signature Series comics that I picked up over the course. I actually picked them up a few weeks ago, but I haven't made an episode of Around the Boxes since then. But awesome books. Picked them up on eBay for pretty good prices, I think. And as I mentioned in the title, some of these, specifically one of these, is like another holy grail comic for me. I mean, you guys remember all the way back in episode, let's see, this would have been episode 6 of Around the Boxes. I picked up my Amazing Spider-Man 361 signed by Mark Bagley. So that was a huge holy grail. I mentioned in that video that was like the greatest comic book I had picked up in a long time. The one I have today might top it in terms of being an awesome addition to my collection. It's a Signature Series book. It's signed by 2 of my favorite comic book creators. So I'm very excited to show you guys that. What's up, Katie Kaboom? How many comics do I have in my collection? I can tell you the exact number, actually, because I have them all cataloged, finally. In my collection, as of right now, not counting some of these books, because I need to update it, I have about 2,158 comics. So we cracked the 2,000 mark a little while ago. So it's about 8 long boxes. I'm gonna reorganize my collection. I want to get them in short boxes because I want to stack them. Because right now I have long boxes stacked up and I can't get into the bottom ones. So I want to do the short boxes with those kind of shelved frames so I can get into all of them. And at that point it'll probably be 16 short boxes. So quite a lot of I don't want to say junk, but there's a lot of comics in there that are just why do I have these? I would say the comics that I really care about, I probably have about 1,000. So anyway, with that out of the way, I wanted to talk about where I've been. why I've been gone for 4 weeks. I'm back. I had mentioned on Twitter that 2022 I was gonna hit the ground running, and I was just gonna make a bunch of videos and start expanding. And yeah, COVID said no. But here we are. So I'm back. I'm gonna be making these again. Around the boxes every single week on Wednesday. We're going to be getting Webheads going again every week on Monday. And I'm going to start making some other types of videos and stuff, kind of expanding beyond comic books and doing all sorts of stuff. So, good things coming to the channel. I didn't disappear. I'm still here, just dealing with some stuff. But anyway, I want to dive into my pickups for this week. There are some new books that I don't have that I should have, because my comic store sold out of a lot of books, which is kind of annoying because I get there like right when they open. But so I don't have Black Panther 3, I don't have the most recent issue of Thor, I don't have Devil's Reign 3. So there's a few books missing, and then there's a few books that I picked up that I haven't read yet because I picked up Devil's Reign 4 today, but I don't have Devil's Reign 3, so I can't read it yet. So that'll be in a future episode of Around the Boxes. I'm going to order those comics that I missed online. I was just waiting to see. I try not to order on a week-to-week basis because sometimes they'll sell out multiple weeks in a row, so I just wait and order them all at once. So I'm going to be ordering those, and those will be in a future episode. So that's why I'm missing some of the books that have come out in the last month. But otherwise, we have a relatively small pile, actually. I would think there would have been more comics in the last month, but not that many. There were some smaller weeks, but we have some awesome back issues to get to. So, first new book I picked up was Miles Morales Spider-Man 34. I keep picking up this book just because it's Miles Morales. I still don't really enjoy it that much. I talk about it every single issue I get. I don't know if it's Saladin Ahmed's writing or what it is, but I just have not enjoyed this run of Miles Morales because the stories just feel too quick. They begin and they're over. It's like one scene long. This was a Beyond tie-in, and it was okay. I don't know. I'm never excited for a new issue of this series, which is kind of my metric for whether I should continue picking up a series or not. So if this wasn't a Spider-Man title, I probably would drop it. But because it is Miles Morales Spider-Man, just for collecting's sake, I'm going to continue getting it. But I'm really looking forward to whenever they start a new run with a new creative team. I don't know. I mean, I've enjoyed some of Saladin Ahmed's writing over on the main Amazing Spider-Man series. There's something about this series. I don't know. I just haven't really enjoyed what he's done with it. But overall, yeah. Out of 10, I rate this a 3 because I honestly don't really remember what happened in it, which means it wasn't very memorable, so not great. I ordered Amazing Spider-Man 35 for my birthday present from my husband. That's a good book. That's Molten Man, right? I believe that's Molten Man. I don't think I have that one. Actually, I might have that one. That's a good book. That's a really good book. I love those early. That's right before. That's right before John Romita. Is that the first appearance? No, first appearance is 28. Okay, no. My brain is scrambled. That's a cool book. I'm sure you're excited. Is that coming in the mail? There's nothing better than when you order like an awesome comic book and you're just waiting for that package to come and you're just excited. I kind of hate it. I'm not a patient person, so I hate waiting for packages, which the last month I've ordered a lot of things online because I've tried not to leave the house. And I am just I have like a couple packages coming right now that I'm just very impatient for. I ordered these online, which is, I don't know if anyone watching knows Warhammer, but these are Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I got the core book. Got some models. I'm starting to build an army for that because me and some friends are getting into that. But waiting for those, I was like super impatient because I'm always excited for them to come. I'm the type of person, like, when I buy something, I want to have it, you know? And so I hate ordering stuff online, but that's how you get really good books. That's how I got the CGC books. I mean, there's some gems on eBay. But next new book I picked up, we got Avengers 52, Legacy 752. Continuing, I forget the name of the storyline, but it's this multiversal Masters of Evil, which I think is really, really cool. I love what they're doing with it. Specifically, I mean, all the different villains are so cool. I mean, the Green Goblin, I don't know what his name is, but it's the Green Goblin with the Spirit of Vengeance. It's Ghost Rider and Green Goblin combined. You have Black Skull, which is like Red Skull with the Venom symbiote. The only thing that's weird about this multiversal Message of Evil, because it's supposed to be like the most powerful villain. I mean, it's Green Goblin with Spirit of Vengeance. It's Red Skull with Venom. Like, it's supposed to be super powerful, but then they have Thanos as a kid, which I get. They just wanted a different version of Thanos, but I'm like, wouldn't an adult Thanos be more powerful? I don't know, but I've been enjoying this. I did not pick up Avengers 53. That came out today. My comic store was sold out of it, so I need to order that online. But I've been enjoying this, so definitely recommend picking up the last couple issues. I think 50 was the first introduction of this villain team, and I think it's really cool. It's just awesome. I really enjoy it, so definitely recommend. Next book, I was a little disappointed by. It is She-Hulk #1. I picked this up because this is kind of a return to form for She-Hulk. I think for a while She-Hulk was like hulked out in the Avengers series because of some event. I don't remember what happened. But they kind of, World War She-Hulk kind of returned her to proper She-Hulk, where she's more of like in control. She's less like dumb and less hulky, basically. And so they were coming with a new series, and I had never really read much She-Hulk. I don't know much about She-Hulk, and obviously the Disney Plus series is coming out, so I said, you know what, I'll pick it up. I'm interested to see how it is. I'd like to learn more about the character. I mean, the character seems really cool. The idea of her being a lawyer is interesting, but obviously it's a little bit different than Daredevil, where Daredevil has kind of a secret identity, whereas she's just like publicly who she is. She's just like a superhero lawyer. So I picked this up, and it was good. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just for the first issue, it didn't really do much. It was just kind of like her meeting up with this girl, and they fought, and her getting moved into an apartment. Like, it was kind of just establishing the setting, which I understand they need to do that, but generally for an issue 1, you think it's going to be a little bit more exciting. You think it's going to kind of hook you a little bit more. It did end with a cliffhanger that's setting up more to happen, so I am looking forward to the next issue, because I feel like we'll get a little bit more into the actual story. Man, someone has a loud truck out there. But all in all, I did enjoy it. I'm going to keep picking it up. But I was excited for it. I was looking forward to it, and it didn't really live up to the hype. But all in all, I'd say it was a good book, and I'm excited to read it. I'm excited for the Disney Plus series. I think that's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to see more Hulk properties in the MCU because, you know, obviously there hasn't been a Hulk movie in years. So it'll be exciting to see Bruce Banner again, and something kind of focusing on Hulks, which I think the MCU kind of needs, because I feel like we don't have enough Hulk in the MCU. He's just like in the Avengers movies. Speaking of Hulk, next book is Hulk #3. This is continuing to have the same issue I had with the first two, which is that I have no clue what is going on. And maybe that just means I need to read Immortal Hulk to completion. I only read half of that series. But I'm starting to understand what's going on, at least with the storyline. I'm still lacking the background of how Bruce kind of got to where he is and how he is and what he is. I feel like they didn't do a great job of catching up on that. I feel like they should have, in the first issue, kind of recapped how that happened, but they didn't. But all in all, I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep picking it up. You know, I know it. I know it's going to be a good run. I mean, Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley is a legendary creative team. I love Donny Cates. He's probably my favorite modern writer, which is why it's weird to me that I'm not enjoying this series more. But I think that's just because I lack the background. I think once I get kind of caught up on that, it'll make a lot more sense to me, and I'll enjoy it a lot more. But all in all, good book. Definitely not. I still look forward to every issue, even though I don't have a clue what's going on. So that's a good sign. That bodes well for the rest of the series. Next up, we got Fantastic Four: Reckoning War Alpha. This book was long. I was not expecting it to be as thick as it was, but it was. This is obviously the first part, or the prelude, or whatever you want to call it, for this big Fantastic Four event that Dan Slott is writing. Sorry. Called Reckoning War. It was good. There's a little bit of... I like that it deals with kind of the cosmic. I feel like that's something Fantastic Four always kind of dives into that's really good. You know, the Watcher, Silver Surfer, Galactus. And so it really kind of feels like classic Fantastic Four to me. So I like to see that. I think that's very cool. There's obviously some background that I don't know. I think Dan Slott had foreshadowed Reckoning War back in his She-Hulk run or something like that. That's kind of the impression I got. I obviously haven't read that, so yeah, I don't know. Not much to say. I'm looking forward to the actual series. I don't like, and I've said this before, I don't like as a collector when they do like alphas and one-offs like this. I wish they would just keep the Reckoning War story in the Fantastic Four series, because like, where do I put this? Do I put this in my Fantastic Four section? Do I put it in my miscellaneous section? It's just a little annoying as a collector for organizing and things like that, but they gotta sell books, I get it. But continuing on, we got Venom number 4, Legacy 204. A little bit better than the first couple issues. I feel like the series is starting to pick up its stride a little bit. Still hate the covers. Absolutely hate the covers. The covers are so boring. They do not sell these books at all. And honestly, the interior, I mean, it's the same artist. The art in general, I'm not a huge fan of. I've said it the last few issues. He's just not my favorite artist. But the story is starting to pick up a little bit. It's starting to get a little more interesting. So, you know, I'm here for it, but it hasn't wowed me. Definitely has not lived up to its predecessor. The last Venom series was just so good. And I feel like this has not really lived up to it, but you know, what are you going to do? Next, we have some Spider-Man books. A lot of Spider-Man books, because these are basically coming out every week. We have The Amazing Spider-Man 86. I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember what happened in this book. It's been a while, and there's been a few issues since. I think this is when he fought Dr. Octopus and started to suspect Beyond, so that's interesting. Starting to develop Beyond as kind of the villains of the series, which I pretty much said that from part 1. I feel like everyone did, so not much surprise there, but Beyond's bad. And then we had 87, which was kind of a one-off in the middle, just Peter kind of training up to be able to return with Cap and Black Cat. It was good. It didn't blow my mind. It obviously just felt like a filler issue, so not much to say about it there, but it's nice to see Black Cat again. I liked it that she's kind of involved in the series a little bit more. And then the big one was issue 88. This was last week. The first appearance of Queen Goblin, which is basically they took the essence of Norman Osborn and put it into the Spider Queen villain. I'm not going to spoil her origin, aside from obviously what I just said. But not. It was a little lackluster. It didn't feel like, oh, this new Goblin is here. It was just kind of like, oh, here's Queen Goblin. Yeah, whatever. You know, like they just needed a villain, so they just made her a goblin to make it sell books, pretty much. So I don't think Queen Goblin is gonna be a big villain in the Spider-Man mythos. I don't think this first appearance is gonna be worth much, but They tried, and it's cool. Like I'll read it. It's cool. It's good. I just don't think that Queen Goblin is the most interesting villain. She kind of just came out of nowhere. But next up, this book came out this week. I'm not gonna say much about it. The Amazing Spider-Man 88 Beyond, kind of a one-off featuring some side characters. It was interesting. Meh. It was longer than I thought. It's a pretty thick book, but not much. Didn't really have much to do with the main series, so I didn't really care that much. But looking forward to the next issue. I'm excited. We're getting close to the end of Beyond, and then we'll be diving into the new creative run with Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. So hopefully that'll be good. I'm looking forward to seeing how that will turn out, whether it will be good or not. So I'm here for it. Last new book I picked up. I was very excited for this one, so I saved it for last. It is Saga 55. If you saw the last episode, I believe it was the last episode of Around the Boxes, I mentioned that I bought the Saga Omnibus, or Compendium, basically it's issue 1 through 55, and I read the entire Saga series, getting ready for this book, The Return of Saga. They've been on like a 2-3 year hiatus, so I was able to get caught up and jump on board with this issue, and it was really good. If you're not reading Saga, I highly recommend it. It's probably not for everybody. It is definitely a different type of book, but I've really enjoyed reading it, and honestly, I can't really put my finger on what it is that I've enjoyed. Like, I can't really say, oh, I really liked this about it, because it's really hard to explain. I enjoyed reading it. I look forward to each new issue. It feels like each issue matters, and they've pretty much confirmed in this book that they're gonna go up to issue 110, so they'll have kind of 2 halves of 55 each. So I'm here for it for the next couple of years till we get to 110. So definitely recommend it if you enjoy, specifically if you enjoy reading comics and independent comics, and you're not picking up Saga. You should be. It's really good. So, last couple books. I have one back issue, and then we'll jump into my CGC books. So the first back issue, I picked this up on eBay. I saw it selling for a really good price, or it was an auction, and I won. But it's a really awesome Silver Age Spider-Man book. We got Amazing Spider-Man 72 with the Shocker. Awesome cover, awesome book. This is right before they went to 15 cents, so I know some of the 15-cent issues are considered Silver Age, but I kind of consider 12 cents Silver Age, you know. So this is towards the end of the Silver Age for Spider-Man. But awesome Shocker book. I love Shocker. I have his first appearance. This was one that I didn't have, and it's in pretty good condition. I don't know how well you can see. It displays really well. It's really good condition, so super happy to pick that up and add that to the collection. So, great book there. I'm going to move these out of the way. So now, without further ado, we're going to dive into these CGC pickups that I have, because they are just awesome and so exciting. So these are all Signature Series books, some obviously greater than others. Not all Signature Series CGC books are created equally, but this first one I kind of got on accident. There was an auction, and the starting bid was something like, I don't remember what the starting bid was. It was like $75 or something. And I added it to my watch list, and I was like, all right, I'll put a bid in. You know, it has like 6 days left. I'll just keep an eye on it, but I'll put a bid in now at like the minimum just to be in there. And then for the entire and then I had bought these other books, and then I realized that no one had outbid my bid, and I watched and watched and watched as the days led up to it ending, and not a single other person bid. I was the only person who bid, and I won this book, which I probably wouldn't have bought after I had bought these other books. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. It's a cool book. I'm happy to get it. This first book is Thor #1, CGC 9.8, and it is signed by Donny Cates. You can barely see it. He signed in black. If I had gotten this book signed, I probably would have got it signed in silver, but whatever. But it was signed by Donny Cates. He's obviously the writer of this Thor run, which, as you guys know, I've been loving this Thor run. I think it's really, really good. And I wanted to get this book because, as I mentioned earlier, Donny Cates is probably my favorite modern writer right now. So I wanted to get a book signed by him, and I thought, you know, Thor #1 was a really cool one to get. CGC 9.8. Beautiful, beautiful book there, so that'll look good on the wall. Then, speaking of Donny Cates, I got another book signed by him, but it's also signed. My next 2 and last 2 books that I picked up are both signed by 2 creators. This first one is Venom #35, CGC 9.8. This is obviously Venom issue 200, the last issue of this Venom run that I also loved, as I mentioned earlier in the episode. And this is signed by both Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, which is the writer and the artist, the main artist for this series. Obviously, they rotate artists, but this is a really thick book, so this is a heavy slab. But it's an awesome book. Obviously, the finale of the Venom run. It's Venom issue 200. Just not really a key issue, other than it being Venom 200, but I just thought it was a really cool book, signed by both of them. I thought it was just a really cool book to have from that Venom run that I love so much, so really happy to pick this up. Awesome book, signed by Donny Cates as well. So, and Ryan Stegman, who's an awesome artist. I love his signature. I love how he draws it to be a little stegosaur. I think that's really cool. So, love that. Awesome pickup, great book, but as awesome as those first two are, nothing compares to this last book. Now, this is another book I dropped a pretty penny on. I'm not going to say what I spent on it, but I spent a lot of money on it. Basically, it was another book kind of like my 361, right? I mentioned in my episode 6 of Around the Boxes, I saw that 361 signed by Mark Bagley on eBay for a really good price. And I was just like, I need to buy this. And this book was kind of similar. I was just browsing eBay, looking at Signature Series CGC books. I'm kind of addicted to buying CGC books. And I saw this book for a price that I could do, basically, is what I'll say. It was a price that I could afford, and is awesome, and it's signed by two creators who I would probably claim are my two favorite creators of all time. And it's just an awesome book. So, this is The Amazing Spider-Man 115, CGC 8.5. Now, the book itself is not a key issue. And 8.5 is a decent grade. It's nothing crazy, but the main reason I bought this book is because it is signed by John Romita and Gary Conway, which is, I've mentioned it before in past videos. You know, Gary Conway is probably my favorite writer on Spider-Man. John Romita is definitely my favorite artist. John Romita or Mark Bagley would be my favorite artist. I have the Mark Bagley signed book. I needed a John Romita signed book. I've always wanted to get my issue 50 signed by John Romita, but obviously the last couple of years there haven't been a lot of conventions and signings and things like that, and John Romita is getting up there age-wise. I think he's like 92. So who knows how long he's going to be doing signings for, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to get that book signed. I really hope I can. But I wanted a book signed by John Romita, so this is an awesome pickup. This is just a holy grail for me. Signed by two of my favorite creators. Awesome book. And while this book isn't a key issue, I love the cover. It has Dr. Octopus on it, has Aunt May on it. I love how it's kind of a circle, and I think Spider-Man looks really cool on the wall. It's just a really awesome cover, really awesome book. And signed by two awesome creators. So this is a huge pickup for me. I'm very happy to have it. It was worth every penny. And it is going to go up on the wall right next to my Mark Bagley signature. So I now have signed books from pretty much all of my favorite creators. I have a John Romita signature, Gary Conway signature, Donny Cates, Mark Bagley, Stan Lee, obviously. So super happy about that. I want to get my Stan Lee signed books graded by CBCS. They'll do signature verification so I can get a yellow label, and they'll slab them, which is more important because I just want to keep them safe. And then I'm going to figure out where, but I'm going to put these up on the wall somewhere. So I'm going to have a bunch of CGC books and CBCS and slabbed graded books up on the wall on display because these books are just beautiful. So awesome pickup. Great addition to the collection. Like I said, this is a great episode of Around the Boxes because any episode where we're picking up 3 Signature Series CGC books is a good episode. So these are some awesome books that I'm very happy to have. I am slightly addicted to buying CGC books, so I would not be surprised if you see more in the future. Obviously not anytime soon because I haven't worked in a month, so spending a little bit less on comics right now. But once we're back to normal and up and running, I will definitely be adding more books to the collection, as well as looking to get some books graded for my collection. I have some books I'd like to send in and get graded, but that's going to do it for this episode of Around the Boxes. Keeping it relatively short. In case you can't tell, I keep gasping for air and stuff. I'm kind of running out of breath from doing a lot of talking, so I'm going to go lie down probably. But thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully we will have a new episode of Webheads next week. I don't know for sure, but you know, if I'm feeling up to it and we're good to go, I'd like to get an episode of Webheads up and get that back to going weekly again, because we were starting strong and then we kind of fell off for a month. So, you know, want to get that up and running again. Lots of awesome books to go in that. So, yeah, I will see you guys then. Also, one other announcement I wanted to make this video. I am back on Instagram. I was going to grab my phone and show you, but it's just at DA Comix. I had an Instagram years ago, and it's been idle since then. I pretty much deleted all the posts on it because I just wanted to start fresh. But if you want to go follow me, it's at DA Comix on Instagram. I'm going to be posting pictures on there. Be posting pictures of books I pick up, kind of features from my collection. I'm gonna be doing all sorts of stuff. So just go, if you are on Instagram, you want to follow me at DA Comics there, and then of course all my usual socials. You can find the links in the description, links on my channel, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on everything. So go and check me out there. Otherwise, I'm gonna go. So thanks for watching, guys. Katie Kaboom, thanks for hanging in the chat. Really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next episode.